seconds left. It's going to come down.
Favor making a third as he looks up. Making up, finds the draw three. Stunning here from
Welcome back, everybody. If you missed it, we're on to the second game of the night. Team Gusick took the first series 2-0, and now moving on to our second game, Surf versus Wichita Wolves Academy. I am Lynx, joined by Crow. But Harrison, while we were on break, we had a game finish, and it was not the result we expected.
Nope. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, you'd like to take a look at our bracket. If you would take a look to the right side of your screen at the green bracket, there was an upset. I don't know who the hell Eclectic are, but apparently they're better than Outlast. The Challenger League team, one of only two in our closed qual, has fallen. Outlast, unfortunately, will not be in our season. At least not yet. They still have another chance next weekend. They can make the close quals and qualify, but as of right now, Outlast will join the St. Louis Leviathans, Didn't Ask, and Aerial Arise Academy in the loser bin. They're in the trash. Good night. We will not see them again in this qualifier. So congratulations to Eclectic, who will play who will play Team Gusick. Well, I guess that's where their run ends then, huh? But we've got Surf versus Wichita Wolves, the blue bracket, up next. And JJ taking down Aerial Arise 7-3-7-3. Surf taking down St. Louis Leviathans, I believe 7-3-7-4.
It's funny. The Surf game was closer by one round than the Wichita Aerial game, which I thought would go at a bare minimum 3 maps.
Me too. I really thought that was going to be close, but hopefully JJ's prayer for his sake. We'll see if it comes in clutch or if Asian decides to manhandle 5 people at once again.
And yeah, keep in mind, I know we mentioned this during the map, but right now, because of that 2-0, Surf are 10-0 on maps in this qualifier right now. And even though, again, Wichita did win their game 7-3-7-3 against Aerial, a scoreline I did not anticipate, still got to go up against a team who has quite simply not dropped the map and won their game at a pretty similar scoreline to theirs. But of course, the rosters, as you can see, the Wichita Wolves is a lot of that Revenge Nation core, plus JJ, Trev, Skunky, JJ, Big Guy, and Chosen, and Surf. You know them. You've seen them play countless times. It is the freakishly good underage squad. That, of course, is players like Ambi, Ashen, and Asian, as you mentioned, Harrison.
Of course, being rounded up by Maxley and Nick. I don't know who Nick is. Who's Nick? Who played yesterday with Surf? Because Max wasn't playing.
It was Spiff and Reed Sync were the ones on Surf yesterday.
That's who it was. Spiff and Reed Sync. So I don't know who's playing today. Actually, I can check the parsec.
It's Spiff and Reed Sync.
Still Spiff and Reed Sync. So that roster is incorrect. Maxley is not playing. I don't know who the hell Nick is.
They are listed on the roster, in all fairness. It's not like they're just doing
but they're not playing. Unless maybe is Spiff or Reed Sync's name Nick?
I think Reed's name is Reed.
There's no way it's spelled like that, right?
It might be. I don't know.
Well, onto the map bans. JJ picked Oregon first, so I'm now preying on his downfall.
Me too.
Second map is Chalet. That's cool. That's awesome.
Shout out to Surf for that one.
But then Surf banned Cafe and brought us to Villa Decider, so I'm preying on their downfall too.
If this goes all 3 maps, we will have casted 5 maps, and 4 of them would have been the same. Or similar to each other.
If we go to all 3 maps,
that is infuriating.
You will see a grown man cry.
And you know what the best part is? If this ends up in a 2-0 and we decide to pick up another game, if the third map is Oregon, Chalet, or Villa, you will see 2 grown men cry.
Yeah. That'll be awesome, right?
No.
What a way to start Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah, by the way, to all my Jewish friends. Used to celebrate it. Don't really kind of stopped celebrating it once I got older because my dad's family is Jewish. Family's Jewish, not him. We just celebrated Hanukkah because we like presents, but Hanukkah is actually a really cool holiday. If you read up on the backstory, do it. It's a cool story. But coming up, of course, as you see, the backstory is Oregon. Screw you, JJ.
Yeah, this one, not. I personally am not happy about this pick, but in all honesty, this could be a difficult one for Wichita Wolves because I remember a big issue that with the previous Revenge Nation roster that a lot of these players were on, their comms were really good, coordination really good, but they were not the most mechanically talented team on the pool. When you put them up against even younger players like Og, who unfortunately lost, but players like Asian, like Ashen, like Ambi, sometimes there was a bit worried about how they would stack up against players like that. Well, they're fighting 3 demons. And on top of that, Reed, Sink, and Spiff are also extremely talented as well. Surf Esports are starting on the attack, but on a map like Oregon, where the attack more often than not has to gain map control by taking gunfights, I am a little bit worried for Wichita Wolves in this game so far, because even though they could, they could win off their coordination, and they did just play Aerial Arise, who certainly have a lot of mechanically talented players on their roster. It is always going up. It's always going to be a concern, especially going up against Surf, who basically won almost half of their maps off of that mechanical skill alone against CL teams like Okami as well. So
yeah,
there's that.
I think one of the keys for Wichita Wolves, and I know that they're going to be capable of doing it again with their comms, with their coordination, with JJ at the helm. He was doing wonders in their match against who did they play? Ink?
I think
Was
so,
it Ink?
yes.
I think so, yeah, because Ink were bringing out all the weird setups. JJ was doing a beautiful job dancing around them and figuring out what was the most efficient way to attack those defenses. So I think the key for Wichita Wolves here is to do everything they can to not take straight up gunfights with Surf, to establish pinches, to force one-on-one trades, or 1-4-1 trades rather, and force Surf into situations where whoever they are trying to get out of position, extremely uncomfortable. You want to make them uncomfortable, you want to make them question every decision they make, perhaps force them into making the wrong move, exposing their back, whatever you can do to not let people like Ashen, like Asian, take those heads up gunfights. Because if there's anything we saw from Surf's game that was on stream, Asian, he doesn't even need info. He just peeks the corner and you're dead.
And you can say that about any of these players. Ashen as well, one of the most incredible players that we've seen rise up in T3, I would say, in the past year.
Did you see the post with the stats? He's got like a 2.05 KD through the open quals.
He is doing absolutely insane right now. And again, going up against Wichita, if they are to deal with that mechanical skill, you brought up the exact point that I would say. You got to play those trades. You got to play those pinches. And even then, it might not be enough, but hey, at least you can try. And on a map like Oregon, it certainly could work. And they also have the benefit of starting out on the defense. They can run up the scoreboard pretty early on. And even if they take a couple rounds, if Wichita Wolves get enough and they could just eke out some of those attacks based on those roam clears because they can anticipate Surf getting aggressive, I still think this map could very well go their way, and it is their map pick at that. But we will finally get into it, as we've mentioned and said ad nauseum. Wichita Wolves will start on the defense, Surf on the attack. And Harrison, we got some pretty standard maps aside from Chalet. I think we're gonna have some pretty standard bans as well. We got a Zofia ban earlier, but do you think it'll just be a Thatcher Maverick or Thatcher Hibana?
We had 2 Zo bans. That was different, even though we had Mira Valkyrie every single time again. We'll see Wichita Wolves banned first. I remember JJ was actually one of the first people I saw ban Zo on this map, but instead it will be the Flores. That'll make the shield play a little bit stronger, force Surf into playing the utility soak game, which I think is actually a pretty smart idea. Surf are a very aggressive team. They love going for those gunfights, pushing in. So their utility play might not be a big focus for them. You may catch them off guard with this. The Thatcher, of course, being the next ban makes sense. It's Thatcher. I would imagine this ban will probably be the Mira, because if you're Surf, I'd want to leave the Valkyrie up, but it will actually be Cade. A different defense ban.
Like to see it.
Once. Is it Mira or Valk? Because it's going to be one of the two.
I'd imagine it's Wichita Wolves. It's got to be Val. Wow. A Mira ban.
I know JJ likes the Valk, but is it really worth leaving up for Surf as well?
That's my issue, because Surf. I mean, they might not. In all fairness, we could be wrong. But it seems
Ashen?
Maybe, honestly, a lot of players on that roster could play Valk, but leaving it up against a team that likes to get aggressive on those defenses, it's kind of like, we saw how bad, leaving Valk up against Parabellum was. Esco would run basically an entire team's pockets just with Valk entirely, and well, there you go. Clearly, Wichita Wolves saying, hey, we know it's a risk, but JJ will six pick to it immediately, and they think that the benefits it could bring their defense outweigh potential harm they could do with Surf. And But again, Harrison, I mentioned they have to run up the clock or run up the score on defense. Certainly will make it a bit easier. I get it. Still makes sense.
Yeah, and of course, we know how much JJ loves his Valk.
That's true.
And already you can see Wichita Wolves very heavily leaning into the utility. They've got Valk, and then everyone else is allocated for those shields and such. Wamai and the Jaeger for those anti-projectile, and the Goyo and the smoke for the shield. So we got 3 shields. Surf Esports, though, they've got plenty to deal with it. They've got a Zoe, they've got an Ash, and they've got a Sledge. A whole bunch of explosives, as well as the burn from, the Zoe again, the Nomad, and the Hib. So,
10 seconds to go.
huge amount of tools at the disposal of Surf. I still also can't get over the fact that Ambi, knowing Ambi, is on flank watch.
It is kind of weird.
The kid that used to, after launching Halo Reach, scream, car game, car game, car game, car game, over and over until I would load it in the custom lobby, is on the most patient role.
I forgot about car game.
You forgot about card, yeah. We used to play Speed Halo with Ambi, and he would just shout car game whenever
Car
he
game,
wanted to
car
play
game,
it.
car game.
Nith Rhombus.
Just the fact that Ambi's even playing comp at this point. This kid was 10 when the game came out. Like, if that
Ambi
doesn't
is
make you
so
feel old,
funny.
I don't know what else will. But this is exactly what we've seen. Agent taking map control extremely quickly, pushing up outside of the freezer door very rapidly. Nobody really over there from Wichita Wolves to counter it, and you don't really need to. TrevMac is playing close, see if any drones come down. The moment one does, you'll likely shoot it and then back off. The big, I would say, not really extension, but the big presence by Wichita Wolves at the moment. You have a couple players on that back tower stairs. That was, I believe, JJ on the Valkyrie and a big guy on the Wamai, both playing back there. Ken trying to do something similar like to TrevMac, see if they can gain some intel, see if they can gain some drones, but Asian maybe gets a little bit careless. They spotted the Goyo earlier, but he did not fall off like they thought. And he gets a free opening pick on one of the most powerful players on Surf.
And that's Warlord 1 down. Excellent work to
Now they just
TrevMac.
have to get 2 through 5.
Yeah, who but TrevMac to shut down Asian? What a perfect way to start off this game. Now Surf are down 1 man. They are down one of their main spearheads, and Reed is going to go ahead and start opening up those hatches. You've also got Ashen. He's the next up, and he's going to see if he can pick off the Jaeger of Barring inside. Wait, I just realized Barring is playing in place of Chosen. Actually, Chosen is not here. Barring is subbing in. No wonder he asked if he could stream. I was like, you're on a team? Yeah, he's subbing in. Ashen, though, right through the softball, is going to take out JJ, who was just kind of ignorant of the angle. A little bit unfortunate for the Valkyrie to forfeit the equalizer like that. But Reed Sync, despite being lit up, wins the fight against TrevMac. Now the man advantage back in Surf's court, despite the low HP. The control is now in their favor, moving down towards Freezer with a pinch in from Laundry and Pillar.
Impact Grenade will finally end the life of Reed Sync because of how low health he was, but Surf hold and retained the man advantage for just a little bit longer, and that might be enough. Skunky is exposed inside of Freezer, but not only does he win his fight, Big Guy does as well. Ashen is now the only one left, but he has that LMG. He has so much ammo to work with. He'll decide to try to take down the Freezer player, but a lack of intel does him in the end. Peeking long when he should have been peeking short. Wichita Wolves will take the very first round on the defense, but it still came close despite an opening pick that went untraded by Surf.
Yeah, honestly, the way Wichita Wolves played that was not how I expected it to go. At the beginning of the round, they played aggro. Trev over towards Freezer, looking for the gunfight and winning it against Asian. Then they immediately peel back. You saw how passive Wichita Wolves started playing, Barring perfectly content to just chill behind the pillar, knowing that there's no one bunker. He can stay safe from tower stairs for quite a while. Now, JJ did get caught out. Yes, Trev attempted to take another fight, holding down Freezer, and died. But right after that, it seemed like as Surf started to move down towards the objective, once they got that one-man advantage and started closing in, that's when Wichita Wolves exploded. Big Guy with the first impact. Barring, he dies, but Skunky immediately trades, retaking Trev's position in Freezer. Huge ups to the last 2 players of Wichita Wolves. Perfectly timed aggression. That's what we love to see. So Wichita Wolves with the first round, they now go up to Kids, and it seems like they're going to have some downstairs presence. Now, well, you know, I love the downstairs extensions on this site. You're going to have to go up against the roam clear of Surf.
That is true. We saw Asian give his life away a little bit in the past round, so we do know that Surf aren't exactly going to come out the gate swinging or be clinical right out of the gate. So there's a chance that they could make some mess ups, but as you said, they are now going with this concentrated roam that Surf certainly have the skill to deal with, but the coordination, that is the question. Then again, you don't go flawless 10 maps if you are uncoordinated. Well, I guess you could. It would just be probably not a fun sight to see. Right now, you can see a Falcam placed outside, spotting 2 members of Surf, a Sledge and a Nomad. One rappelling up to the armory window. He can relay that intel pretty easily to his team, and nobody's spotting it. Knowing that Ambi is placed outside of the main door as well, JJ contemplating a C4, but now play. Or he could try, and, well, in fact, he will. Unfortunately, I think based on the angle to go wide, and he ends up dying anyway. Unfortunate, gives himself up to the big window angle. Could have been a massive play, but got a bit too greedy and didn't account for the fact that he was exposing himself to a very common position.
You know what's funny, too? The way Spiff was playing. It's almost like, I'm always amazed that comp players seem to have, like, a sixth sense about Valcams. Like, Spiff was like, wait a minute.
Something's
what
not
if there's
right.
one out here? Something's not right. Also, I think the barricade was already broken, too, which could have probably tipped him off.
Right.
But Skunky is going to simply peek the big window, try and get the refrag, but I guess the ammo count of the LMG will out-duel that of the SMG-11. Spiff will take some damage thanks to, I think, the flank from Trev. I think that was actually an impact nade that went up on the floor to deal about 50 points of damage. He'll get finished off by Barring, but still a one-man advantage here for Surf and Ashen. Ever so watchful eye outside big window. Trev's got the pistol out, waiting for Asian to move around the corner, but the Ash does not want to press his luck, so he'll let the Malusi go. Go back up towards tower, likely over towards attic. Is there a rotate available for him? I think Asian might be stuck there, especially as Ashen now opens the window. But no,
nice
Trev, never mind. Trev is just there.
That was
okay.
I think a little bit over-aggressive on that one. Trev will manage to trade, but Asian rounds it out. He's able to get the kill on White, but I have to say, Harrison, I don't want to point fingers, but that play by Barring there really did not do Wichita any favors in that round. It was an even 3v3 because they got the big window player, and that is a big kill. Ashen is able to cut off a lot of the site, especially on the dorm side of things, just in that position. The fact that you're able not only to even the man count, but take out that position is huge and allows for so much more freedom to counter the White Stairs player, to play inside of dorms, to do so much. But then Barring, despite the fact it is an even man count, and we're starting to get low on time, still over a minute, but not by much, he swings the trophy player. That's just not something you needed to do. You were safe inside a pit at that moment. You weren't facing that much pressure. The rest of the presence was coming from Trophy and from White. But he gives his life away? I don't know. It still was a bit of a shaky round for both teams throughout. You had JJ giving his life away early on because he just didn't consider the possibility of a big window player as he went for that C4. So there's certainly mistakes made on both sides, but definitely seemed like that was maybe not completely winnable, but definitely would have been a lot closer had Barring maybe just played it a little bit more patiently.
Yeah, and that could also just be kind of a disconnect between him and the roster. Of course, he is a sub, so he's not going to be completely in tune with how the other four play. Wichita Wolves are not afraid to try again, with Trev putting, putting a Banshee and Z. A little bit odd, a little bit curious. Is he? No, okay, I was about to say, he's not planning on playing in Classroom, right?
No.
He is playing a little bit aggressively, though. You'll see a player cross, not land the shots. There's a drone right next to him. But, it seems like Wichita Wolves are playing this pretty much the same.
Aside from JJ being off the Valk, not many changes beyond that.
And just more shield presence on the site.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, that could be enough. Because the way Surf pushed in, they just kind of walked in and won the fight. So, hey, they're staring down shields. It'll either be impossible for them to do that, or it'll take longer for them.
All right.
Never mind. I'll just shut up.
I mean, based on the way they wanted to defend it last time, Barring getting aggressive, those shields will certainly facilitate that. But unfortunately for JJ, 2 rounds in a row, he's standing in the middle of a window and ends up dying to Ashen on said window. That go-around might have just been some unlucky timing as Ashen was rappelling up and JJ might not have heard the sound cue. So I'm going to forgive that one a little bit more than the previous one, but it does still mean that not only are they down a man, TrevMac was by himself all the way down inside of split. Same with Big Guy, though Trev is rotated over. Him and Big Guy are both below. It is a 2v5 on the site right now, and there might be some holes made below to allow for some recourse from the Aruni and the Malusi as well, with Asian there to minimize their play, and TrevMac just walking directly into the line of fire. The Aruni's all that's left downstairs. Will have to rotate up Armory, but so much control has been gained for Surf because of that one kill. Big Guy, again, as you can see, trapped on that island, barring the last line of defense on the side of Generator, taken down. One kill goes to Skunky, but the final goes to Spiff, and the third round goes to Surf by extension.
And once again, walking in, winning the fights because of that off-site presence. You had highlighted it. It was a 2v5, basically, 2v4, whatever, on the site because of those downstairs players who didn't even make it back. The Malusi getting caught by Asian. Ambi outside the main door on flank watch, getting Big Guy. After they killed those two players, they're like, oh, that was it? Didn't really put up much of a fight, did they? Storm into the building, storm into the site, and Wichita Wolves just simply cannot do enough to fight back. Well done to Surf to catch those players. And well, that's just kind of Surf 101, isn't it? That's how we know, that's what we know and love about him. And I know we made jokes about Ambi in the beginning, you know, kind of being the little kid, funny how he's on flank watch, the most patient role, haha. But I gotta say, Ambi has actually been doing tremendously on the flank watch.
Yes.
Like, especially to remember when he was on aerial with Uzi? He was one of the primary entries. He was aggressive. He was go, 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 looking for fights all over the place. The fact that he has switched to pretty much the opposite role and is still playing, like, it's not that he's playing well aggressively on flank watch. He's playing a good flank watch. Which I think is just
Oh, that's unlucky.
not only impressive, but also pretty funny.
Also pretty funny. JJ, unfortunately, messes up that cam there, throws it a bit too early, so probably still going to be a little bit hidden, but not nearly as much, so that Freezer cam might be spotted. Unfortunate. But how this round previously went was, well, we didn't actually see, well, not only did we not see much of Ambi, overall, it was a little bit of an understated round from Surf, despite the fact that they started to bring it close towards the end. Losing a body early on, losing their primary entry early on, they struggled to gain much momentum after that, and when they eventually pushed the defenders back to site, they didn't really, again, gain much in the end. Doing a bit of a rotation here, rotating over to... Actually, I was going to say, we pushed this exact spot last time. We saw Asian start to push inside of Freezer, looking to go the same way. Ashy will clear out this side of the map as well. TrevMac has retaken the same position, playing the top of Freezer stairs, in which he'll rotate down, but because previously he did get that kill on Asian, he knows the likely anticipate it. He'll rotate all the way back into sight and likely play by the E-box door. JJ as well will spot a drone and rotate back if this moment Ashen starts to push down, so not at all getting aggressive against Surf.
Ashen, though, looking for the same peak that he found JJ last time. He might overextend a little bit as JJ's just sending shots down, but he won't for now. Wait for the call from his team. Smart play for Ashen. Surf are setting up, it looks like, for a very similar push. Remember, mainly down Freezer, but also with one coming from Tower and one coming from Laundry. Now, last time, the final nail in the coffin for this push from Surf was, well, not only the early kill from TrevMac, but the trades played later in the round, the retake into Freezer from Skunky. But now if Surf are aware of the game plan from Wichita Wolves and that they play for that retake and are better prepared, Freezer might not be such a stalwart position.
See JJ push up and get a drone. Ashen still trying to work a pick somewhere on this angle. There are two options for him, but ooh, the timing unfortunately misses JJ's rotation, but there's still an opportunity to get one onto Barring, who also manages to cross a third time as well, and then back into the hallway. A couple opportunities, not big ones, but still opportunities at that. And the fourth presents itself as Ashen peeks over the wall, but this time he gets to make that three with the LMG. A 1v5 now. Skunky manages to find one, but how this round has collapsed for Wichita Wolves. Surf take their third in a row. Oh my lord.
So the play from Wichita Wolves seemed to be like the Apache tactic, you know, keep sputtering shots towards his location and darting back, exposing themselves, darting back, over and over, strike and retreat, to try and keep Ashen at bay. It was like shadow pressure, right? They were doing the most to make sure Zoe couldn't push down tower stairs. But eventually, Ashen was like, if you're gonna play like that, I'm gonna just push right into you. He time. Like, Ashen could not have timed that better. Between Barring and JJ swapping positions over and over, the pre-fires coming in his direction, he somehow snuck past all of that. Killed JJ, lined up the guy covering Freezer from Bomb Chassis, and Barring was unable to get the trade. 3 kills in a row for Ashen, and that's really all there was to that round. That was it. Ashen got a triple within 5 seconds, and that's that. 3-1 serve.
3 kills in a row, 3 opening picks by Ashen onto JJ in a row. This one not on the window this go around. But
That's a good point. That too.
that one more so. Well, that could have been anybody, but. Certainly look good for Surf, and if you're Wichita Wolves right now, 1-3 on Oregon defense, and frankly, especially after that last one, hasn't even been particularly close. Not looking the best once the side swap comes about. Could be an attacker side of Oregon, could certainly break the trend, but I am a little bit skeptical of that proposition. Spiff will hear barricade broken open. That's the generator window. He'll just kind of look at it and realize that nobody is pressuring it all that much, so he can back off. There are also some operator switches. No Valkyrie on the board. JJ instead going to the mute. No Goyo. That's been foregone. It's a Legion and an Alibi on the board, the former of which is the first one to fall. Asian takes him down, so no more goo mines to generate throughout the round. Harrison, I'm going to be honest, I didn't really see where Trev Mack was playing, but wherever he was, could have been down below. That's where we saw him play previously. His presence will likely be missed because of the utility that is now gone.
No, he was rotating white.
Ah.
He was just caught with some unlucky late timing. You gotta get to your position faster than that, especially when Asian is quick up to the big window. Nade going in as well. There's no burn they need to account for on the shield. I don't believe... Never mind. I didn't hear it get zapped. It did, in fact, get zapped. But there's the adequate burn afterwards. And the shield will go down. The position in attic from Big Guy now less safe. Never mind.
Look at
How
Surf's
is the shield
drones.
not dead?
Look at Surf's drones. They only have 3 up right now. It's
Only
a minute
3 left.
40 seconds left.
They also wasted a lot of utility on the shield. That is still up. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter that it's up anymore because there's no one in attic, and Ashen is going to get a second kill on the Skunky. So while they don't have a lot of drones, they do have man count, but Big Guy's going to do his best to bring it back as Ashen is finally taken out.
There was ever an opportunity for Wichita Wolves to get a second round on the board. Even though they're down a man, it is this one. No drones for Surf. Sure, they have the man advantage, but look at this. Barring also starting to retake inside of attic. Important distinction. He's not done it yet, and there is an air jab in his way, one that in all likelihood he won't be able to shoot, and because of that, he is forced to rotate off. Right now, there is nobody inside of kitchen that can contest it. Big Guy has an angle, so does the Jaeger, and in fact, they want to retake attic and are contemplating it so hard. JJ uses his C4 to try to destroy the air jab. That is how desperate Wichita Wolves are getting. They will likely, if they want to go for that flank, give themselves away, but instead, they'll continue pressuring the site. Barring spots when rotating into small tower, that could have been a great position, but a late rotate by Reed takes him down and makes this even more difficult for Wichita to come back from.
2 versus 4, and they'll start breaching the single panel wall into kitchen. Unfortunately for Big Guy, he can't land the flick, but JJ's going to try and retake. Staring at the Claymore, he'll shoot down Spiff as well as the explosive, but he doesn't expect Ambi to be up there too, and he just kind of stands in the corner and accepts death. It's a 4-1 lead now on the attack for Surf, and well, they only need to nab 1 more for it to be 5-1 and for this map to be effectively over unless we see the same dominance from the Wolves on their attack.
Which again, I am a little bit skeptical of overall, especially going against Surf, who will likely have the momentum on their side going into their defenses. Wichita Wolves, if they do manage to come back, they will certainly be... songs will be sung about that comeback if it happens, but I simply doubt that it will happen. Final round, we'll go down to basement, and also Harrison, can we just point out, just quick aside, Surf won that round. It wasn't particularly close, by the way. It still had 4 bodies up, actually, with 2 drones on the board, wasting most of their utility on the top floor. Only thing they had going to them was verticality and face checking.
On a single shield, too.
Yeah, on a single shield, and they still won it with more than 4 bodies on the board by the end of it. Well, 3, technically, because, counting Skunky's 1 kill that didn't matter.
Yeah.
So... If you were also confused why we've been gravitating towards calling this game, Surf just won that round with those factors going against them. Going on to basement, a site that was single-handedly opened up by Ashen getting a 3-piece into Big Tower, despite how much presence and how much Wichita Wolves were looking at it and trying to hold it. He still managed to get not 1, but 3 people in that location. We're going to need to see a lot for Wichita Wolves, not only to win this round, but even if they get a 2-4, we're going to need to see a lot of changes.
Why did Trev just leave his C4 there?
I mean, he knows, he probably knows they enter into small tower, but that is an odd spot.
Yeah, I don't really...
They got the drone.
What is he going to do with that?
Did he just detonate it?
Yeah.
Alright, so that was their only C4. And I can't tell
Did
you
he-
what he did it for.
Did he fat finger it and then was like, ah, it's too late, I can't grab it?
I don't know, man. Maybe. I really could. That's got to be the explanation. I just couldn't tell you. Does Asian
wait.
not know he's there? Are you...
I've got no clue.
He just doesn't know. He just
That's
doesn't know
what the
that
C4
there's...
was for, was to cause a miss drone.
Ah! Yes! That's definitely what it was for. However,
Oh, is Trev going to make the play?
that's the question. He's got to be waiting. There was a game on stream yesterday where we saw
Peek.
Spiker in a similar position who had an
Trev!
opportunity to get 2 kills and let it slip by him. This
Trev.
looks like maybe it's one of those. Nope. He can get the 9th
Oh,
and the
Trev!
2nd as well. The air jab. He gets away with it. Highway robbery. 2-piece from the Goyo. I almost said from the Trevor. Excellent play. Beautiful play.
Well done. I was so scared. The more the clock ticked away, I was so scared he was going to either lose his opportunity or get found out, but he stayed patient, and it turned out to be just what he needed. Down goes not only Asian, but Reed Sink, your only hard breach.
Stabbed him in
Those
the back.
hatches will now remain closed.
Still
at
took down him.
3 versus 5, dude. He just Assassin Creed those guys.
He assassinated
And,
him.
well, what do you do now if you're Surf? Well, I guess you're going to rely on Ashen to make a play. There goes 1. There goes nearly 2. Ashen, the LMG, is going to let Sing, but no, he's traded by Skunky, but not before Spiff gets 1 kill, though Big Guy trades, and it's Ambi. 1 versus 3. Can the young man do it? He's got 3 kills to find. The gas canister, he'll choke in, and he'll reveal his position. He does have 40
Think of
seconds to
car
play
game.
with. That's not bad. He sees that elbow is reinforced off. The gas canisters are nearly expended. Skunky only has 1 more. The big challenge as well might be to kill Barring. Ambi doesn't have a lot of info to work off of. He's got 1 drone, but it's already out on the map, and there is a bulletproof cam staring at him. Clock is ticked away now down to 20 seconds. He's going to peek into Barring. No, he does not look to his left. The Wichita Wolves end up taking the round.
I mean, maybe the C4 was because it was to fuel a misdrone. Maybe it was. I don't know.
There's like some ritual that we don't know about.
Maybe. By the way, fun fact. Wichita Wolves won the opening duel 2 times, and both times it was Trevmac. I think that was definitely the more glorious of the 2. But also, look at this. Ashen almost brought that back. He actually almost brought that back, though. He got that first kill, very narrowly got the second one under Barring. If he gets that second kill, I honestly think Surf have a good chance at winning that round. But of course he didn't. Major misdrone by Surf early on resulted in a 3v5. Beautiful play from Trevmac, taking advantage of that situation. And then at that point, I mean, Ashen had, I guess, the right idea. He knew he had to make bring the man count back. It was risky because, I mean, he was pushing into an Aruni, looking directly at him, but it's Ashen. He wins the fight. 10-4 right now. But at the same time, it's a 4-2 half on your attack on Oregon. I'm sure they're
Yeah.
fine. I'm sure they're
JJ's
fine mentally.
just rocking the IQ on Oregon.
Gotta find those Valve cams.
Yeah. They have only an Ash and an Iana against Goyo, Smoke, Wamai Jaeger.
They not the Nomad. Got flashes.
They do. They do have flashes, but they're going to have to be very efficient when it comes to the burn and such. Ashen might even get an opening pick onto JJ.
Honestly,
He's
he might
not
die here if he does
careful.
this.
He's sprinting up to the white
No,
van.
never mind.
And what did I say? What did I say?
That is the
Ashen,
that is now the fourth opening duel out of 7, by the way. That is Ashen onto JJ. The majority of the opening duels have been Ashen killing JJ.
He's not doing so hot. He's 1 in 7.
He's not. No, he is not.
You got a feel for the man. That's also Ashen's 11th kill.
It's also the hard
Severance.
counter to those Valk cams.
Oh, yeah, that too. Can't see those anymore. I mean, you can, but you can't see them for free.
Wichita Wolves trying to compensate for that early loss. You saw some aggression, some shots fired from the bottom of Laundry Stairs. Also still not trying to miss a beat, pushing Freezer as well. Final Valk Cam goes out to try and glean any intel on the top of those stairs into influence Asian, playing and peeking, likely momentarily. See if anybody wants to get aggressive. They might see the cam shoot it. That crosshair displacement could give Asian enough time to go for the peek, but at the moment, nobody from Wichita Wolves is biting. They're just setting up rotations on that top floor and helping, well, a meeting and security clear right now. They can then open up the hatches, then move E-Box and back tower stairs, or freezer stairs later on. Believe they might have spotted that Valcam. Yes, they did. That'll force Asian to rotate off, and as Ashen goes for the C4, Trevmac is able to get the refrag and make the man count even once again.
Well done to Trevmac, seeing the opportunity and pushing down aggressively after it. Like you said, equalizer, 4-4. Well, they won't have freezer control because of it. Trev, not wanting to overextend himself, he'll leave that duty to Barring and whoever's right behind him. Is now shifted to a laundry side push for this attack. 2 people now stacked up by the double door. Nade about to be cooked and being sent in. Now, I'm not quite sure what it was for. I believe hitting a shield maybe in the hallway, the one covering freezer we saw earlier placed in the round from Asian. That sounds pretty likely, but Ambi holding the tight angle. He won't land the shot. He won't land the follow-up on the big guy either. He's desperately looking for it. He can nearly see the Nomad proning around. He spots the foot, though, and big guy is still not taken out. How is the Nomad alive? He's in hell right now, finally. He'll get taken out. Asian with a follow-up before he's knocked on the floor, but it's Trevmac and Skunky, 2 3-speeds, and a 2 versus 3. Skunky nearly gets killed on the cross. Trevmac is stuck in the middle of Laundry. Ambi just cannot connect the shot. He gets taken out by the pistol. Trev with the headshot, another one. He's insane, but he's got to rely on Skunky to cover him with 1 HP. This is going to be a tough duel for the Hibana to win, especially against the SMG-11, but the plant does go down, and Trev is back up. Pistol in hand, though, gets taken out by Reedsync, and now it's a 1v1. The smoke fully in the advantage, but he's got pings, and they're not where the Hibana is. He's trying to bait out the shotgun blast, but he can't land it! Skunky wins the fight! Wichita Wolves take their first attack!
What? That was a comical execute. Not because of, it was bad, but just because. To start off, Ambi, quite simply, could not hit a shot to save his life in that round. I think he quick peeked about 8 separate times, and he only hit, 1. You can see the final time he goes for Trevmac, misses the shot, takes him down, and here, that Z-ping gotta be super impactful. That Hibana was not moving whatsoever, and the Z-ping was a bit too far. Maybe, honestly, maybe they had a cam on him, and they just, maybe they calmed, oh, he's actually close. I don't know. But at least from what we saw, might have caused him to be a little bit wary, not want to peek in that far. But again, the fact that Skunky's able to win that fight, absolutely massive. Overall, there was a very good round by Surf in the early game, but kind of reminiscent of the 2 times we saw Basement won by Wichita Wolves. It came down to the trades, and this time it happened to go the attack's way, despite the low HP and despite the very quick push into Freezer and Laundry the latter half of the round.
So you gotta give it up to Trev there.
Yeah.
The 2 pistol kills, not only outdueling Ambi, but swinging the long hallway and landing the headshot.
I think he was fully out of ammo too. He was swinging small closet with the pistol as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. He just said, give Ash more ammo, please. I guarantee he was out with the R4C completely. I was just rocking the 5.7. Well done, Trevmac. Also, well done to Skunky. 1 HP.
That also means that now, not only do we have 4 opening duels for Ashen and JJ, the only site Wichita Wolves have won is Basement.
Oh yeah, both on defense and attack. Interesting. But we'll see. I kind of want to watch Ashen, see if he nabs another opener on the JJ. But Asian is actually the one farthest forward. I'm not quite sure if Ashen is upstairs or not, but no, he's down on site. All right. So Ashen is in the land of the living where sane people reside.
Asian's the one getting aggressive, though. Saw him go for a similar play early on. Wanted to get aggressive on the stairs. He then rotated back pretty quickly. Also, rotated back to then try and get aggressive later on. You can see they have plenty of drones lined up to try and take care of this position. He'll send out a quick peek, but right as two players start to enter that double door, he'll immediately rotate back down. Air jab placed on the doorway. Very standard stuff for the first minute on a basement attack, because Surf have decided to go back to that site again, knowing that they still were winning that round for quite a bit of it. But there are a couple different factors now. You do have JJ on the IQ, who is alive and can find those Valk cams, depending on where they are. Also, they can now go into meeting and security without much recourse from anybody on Surf. And now that they have that full 5, they get that map control quickly, we can truly see what their attack at full power can be, unless Surf get aggressive, and trust me, I bet one player will eventually.
Yeah, this is a good Valcam from Ashen, but it
Well,
will
there it
finally
went.
get spotted out. There we go. Big guy taking it down. JJ actually surviving past the first half of the round. He'll also spot out someone Midas, calling out to his team, hey, you can't just chuck nades through here. We're going to have to burn these. It seems like they're... I don't know. It seems like they're inching towards a laundry push once again. Not sure why Trev is XDing in chat, but he did, I guess.
Something was fun.
Wait,
wait,
JJ
what?
just jumped in. He just dropped the hatch and is sitting on the laundry machine. And he's getting impacted now. No longer with the G8, with the commando in hand. He's now 1 HP, thanks to Ambi's impacts.
I'm sure there
What
were
is
probably
going on?
probably some funny comms by Ambi. Ambi once again struggling to land a kill in this spot. But
JJ,
JJ, you know he's there. He just shot, but instead he rotates out. But a nice nade by Barring will thankfully compensate for the loss of the IQ as it takes down Ashen. You lose your worst performer to gain the enemy's best performer, and now you get the smoke player inside as well. I mean, I'll be honest, Harrison, it might not have been an exact trade, but I will take that trade deal any day of the week. Problem is, there's still shooters from Surf that are alive. TrevMac tried to hit the back, but there's Spiff holding inside a pillar who shuts him down. They manage to push up and Freezer, and they win the fight with Asian, but the man count's still even. And now it's Wichita Wolves on the back foot. One close around the corner. He's got to take it with the X-Kairos. He spots Ambi, misses a hell of a lot of shots, but he downs them and knows he needs to push. But Spiff can just retreat, and he knows the Hibana can't land the shots in time. I believe it is now not match point, but one round away from it as they win their 5th round.
Well done to Surf towards the end there. Wichita Wolves, when they were storming in the site, seemed like they were climbing up with the advantage, but especially okay, a couple weird picks. JJ?
That was the weirdest.
JJ?
That's JJ's 5th opening death, by the way. This time it was traded, though.
And it wasn't Ashen who killed him.
It was Ambi.
But can't do that, buddy. Your teammates are currently getting shot from that angle. You're 1 HP. You are not getting out of that alive. JJ dies. Wichita Wolves are like, all right, hold up. They nade the dude on the shield covering Freezer. That's when they decide to push. TrevMac as well, with the smoke kill. Very impactful, but later tried going down tower again. And at that point, Spiff was covering it. So Spiff was able to find that easy kill. 3v3 in Wichita Wolves, most of their pushing force is coming through Laundry, which is, again, a pretty easy bottleneck to fight. I don't know if Angle's being covered for Wichita there. And, like you said, 1 point away from map point for Surf. They will move on upstairs. The kids. First time we're seeing this site from them. And they're still playing heavy into the shields.
It's a strategy that has worked pretty well for them so far, so it's understandable. Ashen will send a Valk cam out pretty early on, not the same one JJ did. That was more over by the generator window. This time it is watching small tower, where they know that Wichita Wolves like to entry from. Though it was on basement, a different site, it is shot pretty quickly, but he will gain some intel that players not only spawned over here, but have already pushed pretty far up. It's TrevMac on the Ash, who's currently the furthest up, but here's the issue. Ashen is now cut off because of this window. He'll instead take the fight, and ooh, Ashen getting a bit over-aggressive. Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Revenge. JJ not only getting his first opening pick, but it's on to Ashen, the man who's taken him down so many times. And look at this, Barring gets a second, because Ambi decided to get on cams and Z and had simply no idea Diana was there.
Why would you get on cams there, Ambi? Ashen is dead. That was weird. Now Spiff is alone downstairs like,
And
guys.
hi, Asian gets one.
Okay, and then Barring just walks up with no drone in front of him, and Asian gets the freebie. Skunky is the next to do battle.
Oh, you
A
really
lot
want
of
to push
damage
that?
done to the Goyo,
Okay.
and there's the finisher. Well done to Skunky to keep his team in a two-man advantage, and now it's Reed, Sink, and Spiff. One upstairs, one down. And unfortunately, the guy downstairs, he doesn't have a C4 to play with, and he will get air jabbed. Easy for big guy. And a 1v4 now ensues. The Smoke, alone on site. I've seen Reed Sink do some pretty nasty stuff.
All right.
Bomb located by attackers.
Hello, pings. He's going to gas off the breach.
Ooh, wait.
In his top white. The planter will nearly get spotted and killed, but TrevMac is there just in time. Wichita Wolves will start to close the gap once again.
That was some pretty obvious over-aggression by Surf. You saw Ashen. Not only, of course, he went for that aggressive peek inside a small tower, but he rotates off pretty quickly once that cam gets spotted. And here was the big problem. JJ had his cutoff holding that bottom white window, but he actually managed to get across, but he instead retakes the angle, not being comfortable with the fact that he actually had a free avenue back into sight because he got across that window. Gets greedy, ends up losing his life. That leaves Spiff alone downstairs. Well, once Andy, despite having his teammate die close by at the bottom white window, gets on cams and Z, and that's a free pick for Barim because Ambi, likely watching a different cam, simply did not know that the Yana had crept into main lobby. He gets taken down. Now Spiff is by himself, and even though it's a 2v5, or only 2 members left on the site, Asian is the one to get aggressive. He wins one fight, but then continues pressing the issue against the Hibana on bedroom balcony. He loses there. Couple members of Surf throughout that entire round, whether in sight or outside of the site, were taking gunfights they probably didn't need to, and getting a bit cocky.
10 seconds left.
I'm very upset. But,
5 seconds left.
impressive. It was good that they were prepared to handle the aggression from Surf. I know a big criticism of a lot of JJ's teams in the past have been that, yes, they're very strategically sound, but they kind of have like DZ syndrome, where as soon as you start throwing aggression and just peeking everything, you know, maybe with Wichita Wolves, with the core of Revenge Nation being a little bit more put together before JJ came into play, maybe they're more well versed in dealing with it. JJ hopped onto Thermite. He's been on a bit of a carousel of operators, from IQ to Maverick to Sledge.
Classic JJ.
Classic JJ, yeah. We saw it on his on-stream game too during the open quals. He was Zoe.
He was on Zoe?
He was on Zoe for a round.
Who let
Yeah.
that go through?
Well, he did.
That's a good point. Well,
There's not a lot
see,
of on-site presence.
No, there is not. I was about to say, see Spiff getting aggressive, and well, Ashen getting aggressive as well. Finally, the small tower peak plays out. Thought maybe he'd be a little bit more cautious due to the previous round, but that was silly of me to think that. He instead jumps all the way out, Skunky not able to land the kill, and that's, well, not your only hard breacher, but your main one. You now have to solely rely on JJ, but with those 2 exothermics, all you need to get open is attic wall and bedroom wall, and they've actually already made their way inside of attic. TrevMac pushing up so aggressively. He's in the heart of the site right now. They can make the execute work. Unfortunately, he's flashed, and barring his C forward, it was a fake. It was not nearly as free as they thought. They can pick barring back up, but another C4 flies out. A double kill for Surf. TrevMac has to pick it back up. He finds one. He's able to vault over the shield. A second beautiful crosshair placement, but he's in the belly of the beast right now. JJ's got to catch up. He whiffs a lot of the shots, but lands the one that matter most. 1 HP. The Thermite has to clutch this out to deny match point. On 1 health, he's got to cut through Asian and Spiff, who both know his position. The flashbang doesn't land. Asian is not blinded. He can continue watching the door and forcing JJ to push back. Spiff close as well, this time rotating more close to the big window. Oh no, a misflash gives away his position. Rotating around the shield, he spots the arm, but he can't land the shots in time. A nice effort by JJ and TrevMac, but unfortunately, the site was not nearly as free as they thought, and it was the utility that did them in the end.
Asian, the double C4, all the way from like white, right? Because he was top white at the end of that. It must have been something like that. Knowing that barring was down because of the previous C4, I think Curry of Ashen behind the shield. Barring, he was downed. He thought he was safe for pick. That's when the second explosive comes through. Huge stuff from Asian. And while Trev, you see it on the replay right now, he had quite the play. Sprinting in and finding two. Needing for there to get the kill. He overextended a little bit in his franticness to get those frags.
Now, Harrison, we're in a bit of a difficult spot right now. We need some prayers. We need some prayers for JJ right now. Match point on his team's map pick.
Point, amen.
Exclamation point, amen in the chat to try and... it's not, he's not out if he loses this round, but let's be honest, it's got to be a hell of a fight on Chalet. If Wichita Wolves lose this, exclamation mark, amen in the chat, and we can all send some spirit bomb energy towards JJ to win this out, not to choke.
We don't have one for Surf, though.
We don't only have one for Surf, but that's probably because they're flawless right now, and if they win this, they'll be 11-0 on maps. That's probably why they don't need it.
Exclamation, I love Asian. I do love Asian. Asian is so nice. Chill dude. And he's also incredible at the game. He's also... Have you seen that guy?
Have!
My god!
JJ's also kind of ripped now.
JJ's also kind of ripped, yeah.
Also, by the way, update, Frenchie & Co. lost to Windstorm. I was right. There was upset potential there.
Damn. Unfortunate for Frenchie & Co. Good night, Dami.
It was 2-1. It was close.
My sweet...
Not going towards here. Asian is on Vigil. The buff man is now Chad pushing, or Chad holding on Vigil, if you will. Could get a kill on a Trevmech here, but both holding a tight passive angle. Or I guess, well, not really a passive angle. Kind of both being active with it. Neither do any damage to the other. Asian will rotate out, get together with Spiff, and they will all rotate back down the basement. There's no one there for the cutoff. They are able to do this for free. And now a minute has been entirely spent trying to hunt down a Vigil on top floor.
And he's, not on the top floor anymore. He is left. And as Ashen takes a fight through the floor, he'll deal 1 bullet's worth of damage to Big Guy, which is the MPX, so it doesn't really matter. Now, lest we forget, Wichita Wolves, again, you know, like you've stated, have only one on this site. We're going to try and do it again. JJ back on the IQ, spotting some of those Valk cams. The all-important info for the defense is slowly being whittled away at. So, good job to JJ. But we've only got a minute 20 to now open up all of these hatches and get their game plan into their execute going. They're going to start going over towards bunker. So, it's different this time. Before, they tried a full freezer laundry push. Now they've swapped it up, but Asian ascending the freezer stairs catches JJ off guard. The IQ done and dusted. And once again, the IGL of Wichita Wolves will suffer the opening death.
I believe 1 and 6 for JJ on the entry right now. And Trevmech is also still facing some aggression by Ashen on these back tower stairs. Surf not at all giving any ground despite the low time. They could get reserved in play, and for Ashen, that's likely what he needs to do because those holes in E-Box wall have been open, and he is a little bit stuck right now, likely playing for his life. His goal here is to get a pick, and if he's traded out, at least make it a trade and not have it be impactful. Spiff is there as well to also play behind him inside a pillar, also trying to get his angle onto Trevmech, pushing down those stairs. Fareed is taken down, but there's Ashen finally trading out his teammate. He might get the second, but no, it's Trevmech to take him down. Spiff still holding his position. He falls to the Ash. 1 HP left for him. He's 14-9 right now, and if he wins this, it could be one of the best plays of this entire qualifier. Crouch walking up to the Vigil. He's the only one left, but he's too close. Ambi takes them both down. A 7-5 for Surf on their opponent's map pick. Actually, 7-4, excuse me, but still, either way, not at all good for Wichita going into map 2.
Now, like you said, it was their map pick. They are the more grounded and strategic squad. They couldn't win on Oregon. Now we move to Chalet, which, yeah, okay. Again, same thing. There's give and take on Chalet. Same like with Oregon. Oregon, it can be strat heavy. It can be slow. But if you're like a team like Surf, who are not, you know, strategically heavy, but are still very coordinated and can find your frags, you can play a very fast, aggressive Oregon. It's the same thing with Chalet. Yes, you can play it fast, you can play aggressive, but at its core, it's a very complex map when you play around the shields, when you play around the utility, which could be in the favor of Wichita Wolves. Once again, if they let Surf run over them like we just saw in Oregon, we could be seeing the aggro ranked Chalet.
Well, we'll just have to see. We'll throw to a break because after that map, I am personally eager to get into map number 2 to see if Surf continue their flawless run, in which case they'd be 12-0, or if Wichita Wolves still have some fight anywhere. But don't close out that browser. We'll be right back for map number 2 between Wichita Wolves Academy and Surf Esports.
The government has acknowledged professional video gamers as athletes.
The crowd, everyone's cheering the team on, you make friends, these are people you talk to, you play with online. It's all about community, it's being part of something that you're incredibly passionate about.
There once was a tournament during the season of snow, filled with contenders of might, with names Deez, Ligma, and Joe. The road was a trying one, wrists aching with cramps. In the end, victors rose. We called them Winter Champs. Before they departed, they left us these words. Our journey's just begun, all thanks to the nerds.
2 seconds left. It's going to come down.
Favor making a third as he looks up. Fake it off, finds the drop. Three! Stunning here from
Welcome back, everybody. If you missed map number 1, well, it was a dominant performance by Surf Esports and their opponent's map pick, 7-4 against Wichita Wolves, and frankly, at times, it didn't even seem close. We'll toss up some replays. You missed it. You're also just joining. I am Lynx, joined by Crow. Going on to Chalet Harrison, a much more aggressive map that facilitates a playstyle Surf already employed very well in Oregon. Is this series over?
Well, unless JJ and his team can truly take advantage, I imagine we'll see a very similar game. Oregon was much more fast-paced than we're used to because of the Surf play style, and Wichita Wolves just didn't really bring out enough to deal with it. There was also that little assassination kill from Trebek. That was awesome. But aside from this game too, we can just step back a little bit and talk about the bracket. All of our first round games are done for. Surf 2-0 over St. Louis Leviathans. We have Wichita Wolves 2-0ing Aerial Rise. That's the match we're on now, Wichita Wolves versus Surf. On the other side, we already talked about Outlast losing to Eclectic. We saw Team Goosick win on stream. Team Mystic we talked about 2-0 didn't ask. But Windstorm were able to take down Frenchie and Co. 2-1. I don't know about you guys, but I think I would consider that an upset. So the Frenchie Pug stack with Nami is down. We talked about that on stream. But two that we haven't talked about. The remaining two, the last two, all the way at the bottom of the bracket. Asylum Patients. The only other Challenger League team in our closed qualifier bracket was taken down by Achieve Esports 2-1. Achieve Esports, of course, having, I think, like Twizzler, TPA, Tracken, Surf, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and Shadow Realm. 2-1ing in control. So Shadow Realm and Achieve move on in the bracket. They will play off stream. But coming up is map number 2, like you said, Chalet, and whichever Chalet we see, the super aggressive one, the slowed down complex one, I will be happy because I love Chalet. Chalet is one of my favorite maps.
I do too, and it can be complex. There can be a lot of layers, especially with the utility around those shields, but even then, in terms of maps overall, it is not nearly as complex as even, say, maps like Oregon or maps like Villa. Those shields, there can be a lot of dimensions to them, but those shields really are some of the only elements of complex play on Chalet, it seems, at times. You have like positions like Solar Stairs that you need to clear, and there's be a lot of utility and a lot of different angles you can take that. But even then, it's going to allow a lot more aggression and a lot more simplicity for Surf, and that might give Wichita Wolves an edge. They don't have to clear as much. Maybe they can allow their coordination and their pinches, palms to help and aid them a lot more because they simply don't have a lot to clear. At the same time for Surf, where you can get aggressive, get in the defense or the attack space, no matter which side you start on. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. I know I can be one sometimes, but I mean it's looking.
So can I.
It's just looking rough. It's again, Surfer also still 11-0 on map picks or on map wins.
That's the great thing about you and I. We're both Debbie Downers. We can both be extremely negative people, and I love that about us. We can be quite the pessimistic duo. But yeah, Chalet. I think the early rounds are definitely going to be telling. I mean, that's how it was on Oregon. We could pretty much tell exactly what kind of Oregon we were going to be seeing by the first 2-3 rounds. We'll probably have the same story on Chalet, but as soon as the players are ready, of course, we'll get right into it. Something about Oregon that might transfer over to Chalet as well is the lack of a Flores, right? If JJ wants to take control of that complexity, you know, put those shields in the face of Surf, really stop them and force them to think, you take away the Flores. You force them to play that utility game once again. And the utility game from Surf was honestly not great. On Oregon, it was average at best. At times, sometimes even bad. It just, well, it wasn't enough.
Sometimes didn't matter.
They are still able to walk in and kill everything in their path. So, now into the operator ban phase as we are loading into the map. Wichita Wolves with the first ban, and I will be very surprised if it's not a Flores.
Could be a Thatcher, but considering they saw Surf ban it last time, yeah, especially also it's Chalet, I would very much expect the Flores. In terms of the utility, it would do a big hit to Surf. It would make that game plan come out, and wow, never mind. Still a ban that makes sense, still does hurt the utility. They take out those impacts, those concussions, which you certainly can use to good effect on Chalet.
Nerf Ashen.
And exactly, that's what I was going to say. You nerf Ashen as well. You take away that weapon and that operator he performed so well with. With Surf, will they continue with their game plan? Will they also ban the Thatcher? I would expect it. Yes, it will. That means you get your full range of hard breaching on Chalet, which I'm sure Surf will like to start out.
Now, Mira, Valkyrie, Cade.
Will the Valkyrie
saw a different
banned?
one?
Will the Valkyrie
there's
banned?
the
That's my
Mira.
question.
Yeah, the Valkyrie did a lot of work for both sides, but I think did better for Surf. I mean, considering the fact that they took a 4-2 attacking half and then won 7-4. I would imagine Wichita Wolves don't want to leave that up again, don't want to give Surf the greater luxury of the Valkyrie, and there we go. They are not going to let Ashen run away. Actually, both of Ashen's operators, the Zoe and the Valk, being banned out. Coincidence? I think not. And now, Cade is left up, though, with no Thatcher, and Cade is a very powerful operator on this map. Maverick is not always run, so we'll likely see him most rounds. We also have Flores in play. Would not be surprised if those are picked up by the attackers, but Surf aren't too concerned with it. Instead, they will opt for both the Finca and the Lion, looking to accelerate their own aggression while halting the defense at the same time.
Fortunately, we haven't seen the most stellar use of Lion today. There have been times where it's been a little bit lackluster, especially in that first series, but on a map like Chalet, where, again, it's not as complex, that impact of the EU1Ds can skyrocket at times. And also, the Zofia might be banned, but Ashen pivots to the Finca, an operator that can still be very powerful in the right hands. You've seen it. In fact, many players substitute, a traditional Yana or Zofia or that Finca with the Gaunt 6, the nades, the LMG. In fact, does the same thing as Zofia does in ways, and I'm sure Ashen will be perfectly fine to take another operator, a large ammo count, and a large amount of explosive utility. The first site will be Bar and Gaming, one of the stronger sites on Chalet for the defense, and it appears that Wichita Wolves aren't getting too crazy with it. They've got the Aruna gates, they've got one set up on the piano double door, a shields, or two sets of shields, one on library stairs, one inside a pillar. They're not trying to play any tricks right now. They're just trying to play a game. Or the game
Asian was just typing in Twitch chat. I love Asian. But, I still think, dude, Ambi on flank watch is still so funny. But he's on a more aggressive flank watch than the Nomad. He's on Lion, which is real cool. He's got more bullets. TrevMac, currently on the other side of the map. Just kind of drone hunting for now, looking to maybe get an early pick out the windows while the attackers set up outside Bar, but there's someone on his trophy window now, and I don't know if maybe he knows that. He's going to be avoiding it as Asian starts to move in, now on the hunt. TrevMac's actually going to hit the barricade behind him, just to make sure that, if anyone goes over there, he'll know. As Asian rattles shots over, they now know where the clear is coming from. You've also got Ashen down in the basement, looking to come up main stairs. They're using that little line of sight into Bar stock. No one from the defense is playing there right now, and TrevMac will actually dart down blue stairs to kill the Mav. Wonderful stuff from the Goyo, and the second from Trev.
Oh
Skunky,
my
in the
lord.
meantime, across the map will shotgun down Spiff, and that leaves Ambi and Ashen alone in a 2 versus 5 already. I think we know what the pace of this game is going to be, but the aggression from Wichita Wolves is definitely surprising.
Well, that is a hell of a start, hell of a statement to make by TrevMac. He can just sit in this position. He knows that just by his sheer existence, he can waste time. One coming to his right now can likely take him out, but no!
What?
He somehow wins! A flawless by Wichita to start out. I just don't have any words. I simply do not have words for the start of that game.
Wow. Now, yes, that is kind of more down on the whiff from Ambi, but TrevMac, the reaction. 3 kills for him in the basement. Perfectly timed flank downstairs. Apparently, someone from the defense called that, hey, they're by main. It's because they shot the garage cam, right? And if someone's coming in from the garage, from Snowmobile, on a Bar attack, they're probably going to be maving the Bar stock wall. So TrevMac, he knows that. He goes for the play. Snaps onto the Mav, gets Asian as well, looking for the refrag. And I mean, especially with the shotgun kill from Skunky, I'm not quite sure where that was, but it happened. And that was kind of the round done and dusted right there. Well done to Wichita Wolves, bringing out some aggression. Round 1, meeting Surf head-on, beating Surf at their own game, but Surf are not a dumb team. Yes, they run around. Yes, they play aggressive. Yes, they're not the most strategically sound, but they are not dumb. And they'll likely learn from that and now expect Wichita Wolves to play, the more aggressive game that we're not really used to them playing.
Makes me a lot more excited for map number 2, just seeing how round number 1 ran. I even mentioned I was getting pessimistic. I was getting cynical, but no, my bad. I won't do that again. Redmac also even rotating to the Oryx, an operator that certainly allows some aggression maps, but do see him brought out every now and then on this map. Has some uses. You can climb up those hatches, make those rotations quickly, and if you're looking for a fast and aggressive roamer to make the fast and aggressive plays like we saw TrevMac do previously, I'm perfectly understandable, perfectly fine giving him this Oryx pick this go around. Also, he is the only one on that side of the map, so he is in a little bit of a risky spot right now if Surf do read him out and end up going for the pinch, but he can likely get away by climbing up that hatch. In fact, Asian will start to push into Mudroom, and the first line of defense will be TrevMac to take him down. Looking up the ceiling at the moment with the Bailiff, could put himself at risk if he's not careful. EE1D will freeze him in position. I don't believe anybody's aware of his presence, but despite that, opening pick still goes in favor of Surf, but it's on to Barring, not the Oryx off site. Second goes his way as well. Ambi able to find 2, just sitting outside on office balcony right now. Impressive
He just
stuff.
peeked the
Milan.
barricade?
I guess he just did.
And TrevMac is looking to maybe pop up the hatch, surprise the hell out of some attackers, but Spiff is kind of staring at it. Also, the thing that's kind of crappy about Oryx, though, is that it makes so much freaking noise.
And it takes a long time, too.
Yeah, you can never really be sneaky with it because it just sounds like you're pounding on a floor. But Spiff will drone down. He'll
He knows
spot
now.
Trev. And now he knows. Unfortunately for Trev, he can no longer go for that play, but
Oh,
he's going to
there's a
Oryx
dude
right
there.
through the wall, nearly into the arms of Asian, but he's dashing away as fast as his legs can carry him. He'll get Lion Scan, but he doesn't care. He just wants to get the hell out. He's even got Skunky with him for the support, but he'll tuck his tail and get back to site. Now it's a 3 versus 5, all defenders anchored. The minute 20 remaining, Surf still have plenty of time and plenty of manpower for this push.
Yeah, that's the big problem. Once you clear out that top floor, you've isolated the players there and open up that top wall, and then you open up the bottom as well. You can do a lot, but wow, look at this! He's just getting aggressive on the breach. Skunky picks up one with a down onto Ambi as well. Some very poor coverage coming out from the attack at the moment, trying to isolate that breach and stop the players. Just non-existent, allowing them to get aggressive, but they do still have that man advantage. Ambi picked back up by the Finka charge. Still a 4v2, despite the fact he's on low HP. TrevMac will rotate down, but that is risky. He's leaving Skunky alone right now. This flank could be massive wherever he decides to go from, but leaving the smoke by himself, especially with only one smoke canister left, when he's presenting himself right in front of that shield, not aware of Spiff's angle. You've rotated down, but now you're the only one left. He'll try to climb up the hatch. He can land right next to the planter. Surely he doesn't have this work. It's so loud. No, they rotate in exactly when that happens. That could have been the play, and it would have been incredible, but unfortunately here, it's the first round for Surf.
All right, that was kind of funny.
That was pretty funny. And
But Wichita Wolves, or you say?
I was going to say, honestly, that could have been big.
It could have,
early
but
on.
people were.
No,
people
not
were
that
too
play. I mean
close.
that round. Like the fact that you're able to peek breach.
Oh yeah,
Got another kill.
You did it a little bit earlier. But yeah, Wichita Wolves, maybe still playing that aggressive game. I'm not quite sure. But I think it was Big Guy and Barring got picked off very early on, thanks to Ambi, who I'm pretty sure was just kind of peeking the office door. So that's a little odd. Wichita Wolves made a good attempt trying to fight back, with JJ, I think, downing Ambi and Skunky taking the head of another. But I think actually killing Ashen, I want to say. Ashen or Asian, one of the two. Oh, no, sorry. Ashen only has one death. It would have been Asian. And, but JJ getting a little bit too over-aggressive on the breach rather than dropping down. I mean, I guess he felt he was kind of stuck in the position and he needed to make a play because of the disadvantage his team was in. But he just extended over a little too much. He dies. And Trev tries to go for the hero play, leaves his teammate on site, which, by the way, Skunky just kind of let Spiff tap away at the top of his head. Beautiful angle from Spiff, by the way. Incredible shot with the 1.5. And that was just Wichita Wolves getting caught out, losing their fights. Surf was ready for the playstyle. Now we're back on to dining, and maybe if Ambi doesn't get a double kill from the office barricade, we have a different round.
Yeah, it is entirely possible. He basically single-handedly dealt with the upstairs pressures, so hopefully they're able to play a little bit more reserved. Well, we'll just see. He will likely retake that position at the double door. Just depends on if he gets kills or not. You can already see he's up there, not wasting any time whatsoever. Also, if there is to be another position and there aren't going to be Wichita Wolves members peeking that barricade, I imagine maybe the bedroom window will also see a little bit more play. But as of right now, nobody's taken up that spot. It's the exact same clear as we saw previously. Nobody down inside a bar this time, or inside of games, excuse me, to contest that area. They can move in from library fairly quickly, acquire the same map control they had did before, and once they open that wall, they're able to get a kill or even simply contain the players on that top floor. They will do a lot with only a minute spent in the round.
Oh, Trev dancing with death by the barricade, nearly finding the cross as well, but not there in time. Barring is just, I almost said a bad word, face checking the window. But, hey, their top floor hold hasn't completely crumbled in the first minute thanks to Ambi. So that's progress. That's Wichita Wolves already doing better. Trev Mack also now, no longer on Oryx. He's on Frost, who brings a shield and has Frost mats that could assist these top floor roamers. So Surf already taking quite a long time to even begin the clear. I mean, we're halfway through the round and they haven't displaced anybody. All the utility from the defense is still up. The positions are still being held. And Surf are just kind of focusing on the main wall, but if you don't take this top floor, going for the plant straight up like that is dangerous.
Ooh, JJ tries to land what could have been a massive C4, but not only did everyone vacate the premises the moment they opened that wall, it also got stuck on the top of the breach as well, so wouldn't really have done much, but honestly, not that big a deal. Why? As Harrison mentioned, Surf are taking such a long time to not only deal with the offside pressure, but even move downstairs. They've contained them a little bit, but they can still get aggressive and take gunfights against Asian with one close on the door and piano and one being big guy holding a long angle. They could try to take down the Ash and then make a play for top floor control. Meanwhile, down below, first of the toxic canisters going out. Actually, Skunky only having one left and the C4 being wasted earlier. This gives Surf an opportunity to enter the site, especially with one E1D, but Asian lines up too, able to take down big guy and Trev Mack, a third tagged on by Ashen. Now, all of that struggling that Surf went through, it all might, in fact, be undone and made moot by Barring. He's retaken the top floor. Ashen's still there, though, inside of the site. It's all left up to the Aruni. Does he have the holes necessary? No, he can't spot Reedsync. He's got to move down to the bottom floor. But there's the Yana and the Sledge, both watching the exact same angle, waiting for him to play. It's the Sledge to land the shots, not the Yana like we thought. Surf to take 2 in a row.
Surf really should not have won that round. But Wichita Wolves, when they made the play, it was the worst way they could have done it imaginable. Who was that? Trev Mack and
Big Guy.
And Big Guy upstairs,
Yeah.
duo swinging Asian at the exact same time. They lined up.
Yeah, they could have played the pinch and peeked them from opposite sides, but no.
They decided to peek the exact same angle at the exact same time and both get headshotted. And then there was a third. They were triple swinging that dude. Barring was able to find the frag, but Skunky, I guess after the top floor take didn't work out, decided he was going to need to flank from main, even though that's where Barring was already coming from. The playmaking from Wichita Wolves was definitely questionable at best in that round, and was a huge part of why they lost. And while we were excited about their play in the first round, that seems to have sputtered out since then.
They will thankfully get to go back to Bar, which was not only the site of their only defensive victory, but also a flawless round, which was basically started and I wouldn't say ended, but definitely fueled for a very large portion of the round by Trev Mack down below inside a basement. Surf started out their attack with a very common play, sending a Maverick up to make a line in the bottom of the stock wall to have somebody hold it and deny a very powerful position, being inside of stock. However, he died because Trev Mack had rotated down below unbeknownst to the entire attack, and Surf aren't even going for that strategy anymore. No Maverick on the board. Instead, they'll put Reedsync on Thermite as their only hard breacher, because even though that spot in that play is useful if you can make it work, there isn't a lot of hard breaching you really need to do on Bar and Gaming. The most important factor is clearing those shields, clearing library, getting the map control above the site so you can transition down. It's not a big loss. It'll just change up how they deal with stock, mainly the verticality.
Already, they're going to try and move in through library, of course. A lot of pushes start over here. Asian, though, is all the way on the other side of the map. Maybe we'll see him kind of solo his way in towards the solar side of things. Not solo over towards solar.
Right?
But Big Guy is going to do the what you don't do when holding Chimney, and that's peek the office window. And somehow
away their position.
Ashen is allowed to... Okay.
What?
I don't know what's happening.
What?
I'm just going to stop casting. Everyone's just dying. It's JJ in a 1v5, and they know where he is. All right.
That was a quick one, wasn't it? I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Very good. Very nice and very refreshing. So that round sucked. That round was awful from Wichita Wolves. I mean, I'm just not going to sugarcoat it. That was abysmal. That was disgraceful. Big Guy peeked Ambi, not even on the window. He was repelled watching the window. Peeked a Lion with a 2x and 50 rounds. Peeked Pillar. Died. That's Pillar gone. They also hop into Library because it is free now. You've killed the Pillar player. And they also...
Attackers need to locate
The Library guy loses the fight. Those two positions that are the two that are meant to waste time on Bar Gaming died in the first 45 seconds, Harrison. The first 45. Yeah. That's just not good.
How did Ashen jump in the
That's
big
just
window,
not good.
man?
It's not good. It's not good at all. How did he jump in? The Pillar guy died. So there was nobody watching it. So needless to say, to just
10 seconds.
close the book on that round, so to speak. That wasn't good.
5 seconds left.
Let's hope we don't see anything like that on their third attempt at this site.
Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb. Wall is reinforced.
Yeah. Please.
Don't peek the office balcony guy when you're the Pillar player.
Don't. That's like rule number 1 of playing Chimney. Don't do that. You're just not going to win that fight, especially when they're repelled holding a pixel angle, and a pixel off angle, no less. Because he had the elevation, he had the high ground. You can never expect the elevated surface, but Asian is already pushing up to short. All right, hold on. I'm getting kind of scared. I'm getting kind of nervous. E1D's gonna go out. He's got a drone in front of him.
There's nobody in bar.
There's no one watching him.
There's nobody in bar. That guy's
He's
on
gonna wait
cams.
for this guy to stand up and slam him, and there's the kill for Asian, a freebie onto the smoke of JJ, because of course it is.
Wow, that was harsh. That was mean.
Yeah,
it is the
well,
smoke play though. That
JJ
also
knows what he did.
It also now means JJ is 1-7 for opening duels so far. This one a little bit more impactful than the rest because it was smoke. Fortunately, he didn't anticipate anybody playing up short that quickly, but then again, he was also on cams prone on library stairs. That does mean, though, while the smoke canisters are gone, it's not the top and upstairs pressure that is taken down yet. There are still players that need to be dealt with. The library player and the chimney player are still up. Big Guy currently trying to take a fight with the piano guy, but instead he'll rotate back behind the shield and didn't actually play behind the shield. He exposed himself to the library window, but thankfully it doesn't matter that much because TrevMac and Barring both managed to find kills on Ashen and Spiff respectively and take that time to rotate back. The unfortunate thing here is there is a minute left. They still have top control, or they now have top control being Surf. Barring is on low HP, and if this C4 doesn't hit, which it won't, now there's another kill. Surf basically have free control of part, if not all of the site.
I mean, I guess luckily enough for Wichita Wolves, it's only a one-man disadvantage, right? Only by one guy.
There goes Barring.
Never mind.
Yeah, there goes the round.
All right, well. Surf win round 5 after a beautiful top floor take. Once again. And especially after Asian walked into short and fried JJ for free. Big Guy. I love you. I think you're a good player. You got a funny name. I just don't think you know how to play Chimney. I don't think that's the place for you, dog.
The first iteration was definitely pretty inexcusable. The second one, maybe that was just I don't know.
Well, because it's like the first time is being over aggressive, not needing a peek big window. The second time is just
He's just-
mispositioning and ignorance of what the shield is actually covering.
It's definitely not great. They also cleared out the library guy pretty quickly as well, so one thing I will say, Harrison, we were a bit worried about Surf's utility game, but it doesn't appear to be that bad on their... I mean, they got 4 rounds in a row, so obviously it's not bad, but then again, they haven't really had to use their utility a lot of the time, but when it actually came, you know, getting down to brass tacks, they did clear out the library shield very efficiently. They actually pushed the guy back too. Sure, Barring and TrevMac got a kill, but their utility game was actually good. So one of their big weaknesses is not as big of a factor. Going into the final round, we're going to Master Veteran Office, which I do believe, at least for CL, and I believe in Tier 1 as well for NA, is statistically the worst site on this map. It's looking like a 5-1-half, but again, in all fairness, yeah, it's not bad on Chalet defense.
Yeah, it's
not terrible.
Doable. Still workable. How big do you think Big Guy is?
He's actually 5 foot.
That'd be pretty funny if it was just Bone on a different account.
I thought the same thing. I didn't make the joke.
I wonder if he's like lava or prod big.
No, he's not big or tall. He's actually just 5'9". He's just straight average.
I'm average.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Anyway, changing topics entirely. It is a pretty standard defense coming out on Master Veteran Office. You see JJ playing behind the library shield right now as Frost. Common position for him. All right, well, he's dead. Wow, and he's killed by Barring, of all people.
Barring!
I bet that was a crispy shot, though.
It looked crispy, but... JJ will suffer another opening death.
He's now 1-8 from
that?
the very person who he didn't expect.
Oh my god, you gotta expect the unexpected when it comes to Siege, and... Well...
That's definitely the opening pick if the other one doesn't count. All right,
no. Trev, don't do it.
I know you want to.
He's now, Ashen. No, and then Ashen looked like he was thinking about hopping in the freaking window. There's still 1:35 for Surf to play with in a 5v3. Ashen is just going to hold the window while Barring swings, but it was a distraction!
Nice play. Oh,
but TrevMac dies on his way back in, and out both Skunky and Barring are very low HP. Not a lot of chance for him in this round unless they are hitting the heads, and there's one for Barring. Jumps out and tags Asian. Now 2 versus 3. Reed is planting. Basically a 2 versus 2 while he covers, but Skunky overexposes himself throwing the C4 and leaves it to Barring now in a post plant. And, well, Carter, you called it. It's looking like, and will be, a 5-1-half.
JJ, in all likelihood, probably would have survived that engagement on the piano window. You saw Ashen opened it up, but he was already rotating off. In fact, I think he was actually mid-reload, if I'm being honest. I don't think he was actually aiming his gun. But unfortunately, Barring hit a nasty shot onto his teammate. Unfortunately, yeah, you can see it already crossed the window. I did not know that was going to happen. That is really funny. That is really funny.
Dear Lord, show pity upon me. As he gets TK'd and is like 1-8 on entry.
You cannot conceive, nor can I, the appalling strangeness of the mercy of God.
You know what? Maybe he should have gone to a synagogue instead of a church, considering it's the first day of Hanukkah.
Also,
you think that was it?
By the way, him and Big Guy are both 0-5 right now.
That's not great. Big Guy's got 2 assists, though.
That is true. You make a compelling argument.
And not a single person from Surf is negative. They're not even. They're all full positive.
They're also going garage the first side to start out, and they will defend it in the traditional garage way, in that you like to play someone on the roam. Now, of course, knowing Surf, they might not play it as they structured as teams like to do, honestly, there are just sometimes teams that they'll heavy reinforce bar, and they might have someone roaming kind of far off the site, but they really will just try to concentrate the majority of their off-site resources inside a bar to contest that hatch, which, if the attackers have, can basically make a wide plan extremely easy. But I imagine Asian, alongside Spiff, will play it a little bit more fast and loose. Ashen as well, also off the site. Now, this is actually a little bit risky because this does make it a 5v2 on the site, and if Wichita read into that, they can certainly capitalize if they have the manpower and the positioning, but I don't think that's true. I think they're playing into it.
I'm really excited to see Surf's downstairs defense because we've talked to Keegan Penguin Smith extensively. He always likes to say that downstairs is a very viable site. You just have to have a really good roam. And if there's something that we can expect from Surf,
Good roam.
it's for them to have a really good roam. Case in point, Asian with... Oh, wait, Asian with the first roam. Oh, he stole that from Spiff, and Spiff will apparently pay for his kill being stolen with his life. Well, sucks to be Spiff right
How
now.
it goes sometimes.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate, but still, Asian was getting the first pick.
They also have the hatch.
barring. They do have the hatch, but you still see Ashen is on the prowl. He's got Asian right above him. He's scared of someone, perhaps, right outside the big door, but... Ooh, the wall bang! That was... Dude, that almost killed JJ. I almost screamed.
I imagine JJ probably would have too if that had happened to him, so
Yeah.
there would have been 2 screams at the exact same moment. But the important thing here is they have the hatch. Even though they lost the opening duel, they lost their Jackal, they have control of this hatch. If they can just open the elbow wall, clear out anybody playing or push anybody playing blue back, this is a plant waiting to happen for Wichita Wolves. They have an EE1D as well. 2 nades for Trev Mac, 3 flashes to aid at the push into sight. Everything is going Wichita Wolves' way right now to get this first round. Only problem is, well, never mind. I thought maybe somebody was going to lose their life, but JJ instead finds Asian potentially rotating back to sight. I'm not entirely sure. Final EE1D goes out, but there's no capitalization, but there is from the flashes sent down through the flashes. He does have that TCSG, which could be pretty lethal close quarters if he wants to challenge Bunker, challenge anybody in the hallway, and be the first one to find a kill, evens it up 3v3.
And we know how much Ambi loves the MX4 Storm, and there's the long angle. Reed taps away at the head of Trev. Ashen and Ambi and Reed are popping off. It's just Skunky now, and Ashen gets the last. Surf Esports will still take their snowmobile defense. It was looking good for the Wolves, but alas, against the Anchors, they simply could not do anything.
Yeah, ironically enough, we hyped up how Basement's viability is contingent upon a roam. The roam, while not entirely dealt with the most important part, the dining player was neutralized pretty early on, despite it taking a body to do so. In terms of map control, I would make that trade. I'd make that trade any day of the week, especially if you lose your player who's meant to clear out the roam and you clear out the most important part of the roam. Perfectly fine in my book. You also get a second kill after that. JJ manages to find Asian rotating back, I do believe. And you're looking here, Harrison. We are looking good. We are looking so good. We're opening up walls. We're clearing. We're moving players back. We have hatch control. And yet, despite all of that, they didn't push Ambi back far enough. The Hibana player exposes himself to the door, and Ambi's still playing there. Reed on the long angle happens to win his fight. There's not much, in all honesty, that Wichita Wolves could do unless they rotate somebody to main stairs or to garage, but since they were mainly focusing on getting the rest of their utility for a wine plant, they had nobody over there, so he was able to get that kill. Oh, I would say dying to Ambi was the mistake, but honestly, losing that fight to Reed, I think that was just unfortunate. Maybe it would have happened no matter what, but in terms of getting the final resources to push the site, it just came a little bit too late. And now Surf are on match point. They just have to win 1 chalet defense, which can sometimes be difficult. It's all Wichita Wolves could do. But I have a feeling they can get one on the board.
Attackers dropped the diffuser. Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Oh, that guy spawn peeking? No, he's not. I think he's on a cam.
Maybe
yeah,
on
Surf,
a cam to spawn peak.
Remember we were... Oh, oh, oh. Ooh. Trev! Oh. 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 Hey! I got real nervous when he started missing the first couple shots, but he gets Ashen in the end. Well done to Trev Mac, who is nearly going to be able to spot another target. Asian looking for revenge for his fallen brethren, but... 6-1 for Surf. And,
Bomb located by
it ain't looking pretty, Carter.
No,
This is kind of remember we were like, hey, Chalet, it's Surf's map pick, but hey, it could be strategic, it could be complex.
we had a great first round too.
Yeah, and it just hasn't been.
Yeah.
It has just been Surf killing people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, to sum it up, that's just it.
Yep.
Did they just shoot? Oh no, they shot the drone.
Well, Barring
Oh,
does
they
get
got a kill on Reed, though.
Barring does get a second kill on the Reed Sync. And so far,
Asian?
it's not a bad clear by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Well, never mind. They just didn't know Asian was there. Are you really? You didn't clear out Master Bedroom? Sure, that's not the take they're going for, but hell, it might not matter in the end. Managed to catch Ambi, one of the site players, so now Asian and Spiff, the two players alive, are separated well by a wall of the entire Wichita Wolves' remaining man count. Asian stuck inside a dining with not many options to contest. Spiff is sort of alone right now. Wolf spot one, but he's unfortunately un-ADS'd at the exact wrong time. All he'll do is damage Barring before he has to retreat. Thankfully, Asian's here. He gets two! Incredible plays from the Aruni, and he single-handedly brought this back. Despite having not many options at his disposal, he still managed to make this much more palatable for Surf. Trevmac and Barring, the only two left. Trevmac tries to clear him out. Barring, the one who very narrowly lost his life earlier, is the only one stopping and keeping Wichita Wolves in this. He's holding Mudroom
he's
right now.
hungry for
Asian going for the ace. He wants it. He wants to get the play that sends Surf
peek.
into SCS Season 6. You can feel it. He wants to peek, but he's playing patient. Barring's peeking the wrong way. He's got to win this fight, and he doesn't! An ace from the Aruni. Asian wins it out. A 7-1 on their map pick. And if I do believe, let me refresh the bracket. Surf are your first team to make it into SCS Season 6.
Congratulations, Surf Esports. Was there ever any doubt?
And they end their qualifier 1
Completely undefeated.
12-0.
Completely undefeated. Not a map 3 needed. Not a single dropped. Best of 1. Incredible from
best of
Surf.
threes. Best of threes.
Oh yeah, I said not a third map needed. So that was like that was the best of 3 portion.
All right, fair.
I said not a best of 1 lost. Who else? But Connor Asian. That's not his actual last name. I don't know his last name, but he is Asian. To get an ace. How poetic. How fitting. What are you giggling at?
Reminds me of a... There's a quote from Batman vs. Superman where Lex Luthor is having a run where he's like, but God is tribal. God takes sides. Well, we know whose side he wasn't on today.
Unfortunately, JJ's prayer goes unanswered. See, I'm telling you, he went to a church, but it's Hanukkah.
Hey, here's the thing, though. Here's what we will say. I know, JJ can be kind of polarizing. I know, at least for me, I hope to see JJ in SCS. He does still have another chance.
He does next week.
Qualifier 2 is next week. We will likely see Wichita Wolves Academy back, but you know who we won't see there? We will not see Surf, because they have made it in. Congratulations, boys. I know, Harrison, you gave your congratulations, but I haven't. So congrats to all of them. Good work, amazing qualifier run, and they have certainly earned their spot and then some, based on their run in the open and closed qualifiers for qualifier number 1.
And, we'll do it. For this game, because we have a special treat for you guys.
We do.
I don't know if we're going to cut to a break first or not, but what we're going to do is any games that are still going, once they have a break in map, we're going to try and pick up. And Carter,
Squeeze our way in there.
did you know that Mr. Sean Gunnar Potteroff has put the map 3 of his game on hold for the entirety of this series so we could cast it?
Are you kidding me?
No, he DM'd me. Wait, let me open Twitter. He DM'd me.
Are you joking?
I'm talking after. Oh, he said, "Our game we waiting on went map 3. We will wait. I want the world to see our skills, and my Brazilian friend wants to watch."
Dude, why does Gunnar speak like caveman SpongeBob?
It's really funny. I love Sean. He goes, I was like, oh, well, we're already casting Surf. He goes, I'm talking after Buckaroo. This game ain't gonna last long. Ashen is there.
Well, Ashen was there. He was there.
Ashen was, and he was killing. Both he and Asian. And I mean, the entire squad was killing. And now,
That's true.
if you guys missed the bracket update earlier, Surf is our first qualified team, and we have Mystic versus Windstorm, Eclectic versus Team Goosick, and Achieve Esports versus Shadow Realm currently being played off stream. But if Gunnar actually did wait, because he's
Which should be
crazy
really funny if he did.
and really wants us to cast. I mean, I like casting Sean, and he really wants us to cast him. So if he did wait, that will probably be our next on-stream game. We'll have to have some sort of correspondence with him. But yeah,
All right.
that's how it's
So,
going
yeah.
so far.
We before we go, Harrison, before we go, do have another sponsor to thank.
Oh,
Do have another sponsor.
yeah.
It's not Mike and Ike's. I mentioned yesterday. It is
No, you
Mavix
can't eat
Gaming
these.
Chairs. You cannot.
Oh, I mean-
well, you theoretically
yeah, I guess
could.
you could if you really wanted to. I wonder how they taste.
I have some loud roommates going on right now. Apologies if you heard that. But we do have to thank Mavix. We do have to thank Mavix Gaming Chairs for sponsoring not only just NerdStreet in general, but also SCS6. I think I mentioned yesterday. Obviously, you know it's a gaming chair. You know what to expect. Very good gaming chairs, Mavix are. But Harrison, if you enter the code NSG55 at mavix.com/NerdStreetGamers, did you know you get $55 off?
Interesting.
That is I mentioned this yesterday. That is an incredibly large discount. Like, I genuinely don't know if I've ever seen just I've seen 20% off. Like, if I'm buying a TV that's like 20% off, yeah, that's like a big discount. That could be like $100. I've never seen a flat dollar amount that's like $55.
Yeah, I mean, for like
That's
a
a pretty good
$200 chair, that's more than 25% off. That's
Yeah.
pretty epic. Also,
That's math for you right
I'm
there.
pretty sure Mavix has air-conditioned chairs, and that's kind of sick.
That is actually pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie.
I've heard
It gets
people
kinda
talk
hot.
about it. I've heard people talk about it. So I'm gonna double check to see if that's true. Don't quote me on that. But you could go.
You quote him on it.
You could visit
especially
their
if he's
website and find out. Give them more internet traffic.
There you go.
Do that because I'm not going to tell you if they actually exist.
Especially, take some time to do that. Go check out Mavix Gaming Chairs. Again, a lovely sponsor for NerdStreet, because we are going to take a quick break, but do not go anywhere because we might have another map from a different series to show. Don't know if it's Mystic, don't know who it is, but we will be back soon to tell you. So do not close that browser. Harrison and I will be watching if you do, because we still got something